You're now watching Sports Bettor's Paradise on the BetRivers Network.
All right, Jimmy, I took it to college baseball with you. Let's have another good winning week with 5-2 in a super regional round plus 4.55 units. So let's get right after it. Friday, 1 p.m. All the games are going to be 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. in Omaha. It'll be of course, ACC and SEC, 4 from each conference. First time since they expanded the field to 8. Oh, that's like 1970 that they've had just 2 teams from 2 conferences. Might not be 8 from just ACC and SEC, but the way the conference realignment in college baseball, get used to it. ACC and SEC heavy for sure. North Carolina, $1.55 over Virginia, and battle of ACC teams here, and Virginia and North Carolina taking care of business, but this North Carolina team is just a tick above Virginia. It's the reason why they won this tough conference by multiple games in the regular season this year. They're a complete team. Honeycutt and Stevenson, the 6'3" outfielder Honeycutt, he's got Charles Schwab power. It takes a lot to get balls out of here. He's got that type of power. The freshman catcher Stevenson is outstanding, but it's not just them. This lineup boasts 5 hitters with at least 14 home runs. The lineup switches left, right, the whole way down. The fielding is outstanding. That's key because they will steal some hits in this park, and they've got a dominant extended closer and Dalton Pence, the lefty out of the bullpen. They're well coached as well. Virginia's done very well to get to this point. I did not think that they would get to this point. I thought K-State would stretch them out a little bit tougher than that point. But North Carolina minus $1.55 is a reasonable line. Some of these lines can get a little out of hand, but that's a reasonable line to lay in the first game on Friday. The Friday night game, Tennessee and Florida State. I think whoever wins this game is going to win the whole thing. Tennessee has got deserves the number 1 seed, co-champions of regular season in the SEC. They won the conference tournament in the final against SEC against LSU in Hoover. But here we go again. Now, Tennessee in this game last year, the opener, faced Paul Skeens. Now, Florida State doesn't have Paul Skeens, but they got a hell of a good left-handed pitcher. Sophomore, he's going to be a high pick in the 2025 draft. Jamie Arnold. His ERA has dipped a little bit coming down the stretch. He was in the mid-ones with about a month to go in the season. He's right now at 2.77, but he is outstanding. No doubt about that. Florida State also has the ACC Player of the Year, Tibbs. Don't pitch to him, UConn. Come on. They dropped 20. They won by 20 in game 1 on Friday against UConn. And then they're in an 8-8 game. The kid was 4 for 5 with 2 home runs. Make that 5 for 6 with 3 home runs with the 2-run shot to be the game winner. He has Charles Schwab power as well. Drew Beam, the ace for Tennessee, who figures to get the start here. Don't know why everybody would not pitch to number 1 in the first game. It gets a little trickier after that. But not just kind of an average year. Part of that 4.44 ERA for an ace of a team is a little inflated because of the park. I get that. But a lot of these parks can be a little hitting friendly. Also, 7 home runs in the clincher against Evansville for Tennessee. You ain't hitting that many home runs. You better do some different things. I love Tennessee's team, their program, their coach has got it going on. He is mellowed down. He's not quite as confrontational and a little bit, a little much as he was in Vitello. But, man, Florida State plus $1.55 is a real deal. This line should be pick 'em. Florida State has a pitching advantage. They're close to the lineup. Tennessee has a better lineup, and nobody has a kid like Tibbs batting from the left side. He can launch them. Florida State, and I do think that Florida State, Tennessee, we got futures on both. We put going into the Super at plus 300 on Tennessee to win it all. Going into the field of 64, we took 20-1 on Florida State. I do think whoever wins that game is going to win it all if you want to play with some of the futures right now. Saturday's game, let's start off with Kentucky against North Carolina State. That's the 1 o'clock game at Charles Schwab Field in downtown Omaha. Kentucky, $1.75. North Carolina State coming back plus 133. Mentioned already, Kentucky, a great season. no doubt, co-champions in the SEC regular season. They hosted the Super. They took care of business 10-0, and in a close 3-2 game. Their pitching also is the surprise that came out of the Super Regional. They held Oregon State. Now, one was to a wall, should have been runner's interference, but 3 singles over 2 games. That is it. The crowd was a great deal to help them over the hump. But debutantes, first-timers, maidens, whatever term you want to use, don't usually do well. We've seen some mid-majors come in here and run the table. But this is a program at the Mangione over in Lexington that figures on being – this is not their last trip. Kentucky's got all the resources of the SEC, the revenue coming in, and now that they're winning a series of wins. But this is going to be a little bit wide-eyed for this entire program. NC State, now none of these players have been here. The coach has been here. And, man, a little bit of karma, a little bit of payback, a little bit of something, huh? I mean, the COVID year, they did the tough part. They beat Vandy and Leiter in the early round, got into the winner's bracket. And then they had the negative test where they were limited to 13 players, and then they just eliminated them completely for the tournament. They were set up to win the whole thing. Now they're coming back in at plus 133. Another one here should be tight. Love this coach, man. He was a player at NC State, an assistant at NC State. He's even dropped the "Don't Give Up" Jimmy Valvano slogan that they've inherited throughout the entire athletic department. NC State, I love this team. I love the way they play. Give me them plus 133 on the first game on Saturday. Then we got a rematch of the opening series, the night game, the last game of this opening 4-game set. Saturday, 6 p.m., Texas A&M in Florida. This was the opening series of the regular season in conference play. They played at Gainesville. Florida won the first one. A&M won the second one. And then tight with us. The last one went to extra innings. I'm sorry, went to 9 innings. They hit a 2-run shot in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Florida took it 2 out of 3. I love this A&M roster. I love this program. I love this coach. You know, sometimes it's not what you do with, where you are, but how does the program do when they're after you leave? And even as an assistant, Jim Schlossnagle, Tulane's program has never been the same since he left. Got to UNLV, to the field of 64. Got TCU to Omaha, and now he's got A&M to Omaha. And he's loaded. He's got a complete team. He's got pitching. He's got hitting. He's got pitching depth in bullpen. And certainly he has resources in an NIL budget to fill out that roster. But the 1-2 punch, I mean, Shad Sano, the pitcher, outstanding pitcher, and Montgomery with the broken ankle. I mean, this is a 1-2 blow that I think is going to hurt this team's run deep into the tournament. They have a great draw. They were set up, if they were fully healthy, to win this whole thing. Their starting pitcher has had a great season, did not have a good showing against Oregon. Oregon hitting pretty good in the Super Regional round. How will he bounce back? And then Jack Laglione for Florida, a finalist for the Golden Spikes last year. Freaking joke. He's left off this year. I don't know if he's pissed more than I am with my future at plus 350 for him to win the damn thing, but he was left off. How's he respond? He's going nuts, man. Nobody's hitting the ball like Caglione right now. He is a highlight film. He's got that Charles Schwab power. These are two teams that figure to play close. I am worried about Florida's best reliever, their ace reliever. He's had to go extensive outings both in Stillwater and also this past weekend, in the Super in Clemson. But at plus 75, come on, man. Florida figures to be competitive. The Sullivan has been here a number of times. He's won one. They were the runners-up last year to LSU and lost in 3 games in the championship series. So I think Florida, not my favorite pick, but that's a price pick on this one. I like Florida. So that's one that I like as well. And, for you guys that, it's eligible. This Jaylen Brown is over in the MVP. Hook up Brown MVP, North Carolina minus 55, and NC State plus 133. It's paying plus 392 at the states that are eligible for that parlay. Good luck. We'll talk to you throughout the College World Series. Good luck on your picks. We'll talk to you next week.